All right, welcome back to your on-campus interviews. I'm your host, Venner. Here with me, I have two DSU women's wrestlers. I'm going to have them introduce themselves, and then we'll get started with a couple questions.
I'm Kiley, Hubby.
I'm Makenzie Shaw.
All right, so how old are you guys?
I'm 21.
And I'm 18.
18. Okay, are you guys both like freshmen coming in?
I'm a freshman.
Freshmen?
Sophomore, junior.
Sophomore, junior?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Where are you guys from?
I'm from Washington State.
I'm from California.
Okay, nice. Can you tell me a little bit about like your wrestling career and what brought you both to DSU?
I started wrestling in 4th grade. There was one girl at the club practice, and I kind of just hopped in to be her partner. I've done a lot of national folk style and freestyle tournaments. I wrestled at a JUCO previously, and yeah.
Nice.
I started wrestling at around 9, and I started because I would watch my brother's practices all the time, and I really liked it. And it took some time to get into it because, you know, girls weren't really into it. But yeah, and I would just do, this is like my first year of freestyle, so it's different.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very cool. Let's see. So the duel last week, you guys made history. If you guys weren't aware, DSU hosted the first women's wrestling duel last week, and it went really, really well, I feel like. From my standpoint, and I'm sure from your guys' standpoint, I was pretty pumped about showing up for that. And last semester, I was kind of upset that it was canceled right before, what was it, like finals or something, due to the weather. So I was really happy to hear that you guys were able to get that back. Just kind of like, what was the energy like coming in and seeing all those people? You know, it's just a pretty cool environment, I feel like.
Yeah, I hadn't wrestled a duel in quite a while, so having like that many people show up was really cool, and just like the energy and the support from all the different students and athletes was really, really fun. And cool.
Yeah, it's definitely always nervous with all your peers watching you, but like everyone in the crowd was so loud and hyped up with like every little thing that we did, and it set a really good energy.
Totally. Yeah, no, totally. With like your first home duel, like what was kind of the preparation going into that? What did Coach Springer have you guys do? Anything special or?
Honestly, just practices still. I think we had a few competitions before this, so like getting those matches in before this duel. We've faced Minot a few times already, so yeah, just kept practicing every day, getting extra workouts and stuff like that.
Can you guys kind of like run through like how your matches went? You want to start first? So yours is a little complicated.
Yeah, so mine was the first match, and she like took me down in the beginning, and then I don't exactly remember what happened, but when we started wrestling again, we got to like the edge of the mat, and she if she pushes me out, she get a point.
Okay.
And so I kind of just like did a last minute throw, and I got 4, and then she like hit her head or something.
Oh, okay.
So she had the injury default.
Gotcha.
I pinned my girl first round. I got a takedown, or I got a couple takedowns, and then I ended up just turning her in a pinning combination, and I pinned her pretty early in the match.
No, yeah, for sure. I know everybody was kind of getting hyped. I was sitting next to my teammates, and we were going pretty crazy, I will say. I was going to say, like, did the energy, like, during your matches kind of affect how you were performing?
Yeah,
Sure.
as you, like, stand there, like, and you just hear everyone from all sides just be, like, loud and, like, cheering your name and stuff is really, it's, like, a really good feeling. It makes you less nervous.
Yeah, I agree. If it's silent in the room, it gets a little awkward, so I like the noise and the cheering for sure.
For sure, and I noticed, like, the men's wrestling team there on the other side, they were getting pretty hyped, too. It was, like, they were doing their own kind of, like, coaching stuff with, like, your coaches on the side. It was really cool to see all the support you guys had, for sure. So like when you guys go into like a match or whatnot, what's your approach? Do you have like something that kind of gets you into a different place when you step on the mat, shake that girl's hand and go, or?
I just try to keep my mind like pretty like clear and calm, and I try not to like stimulate my mind. Yeah. And I just try to like think through the moves that I want to hit in the match and like what kind of energy I want to put towards her and like stuff like that.
No, yeah, I agree. I think I tend to overthink things a lot, so I try to like keep my mind at ease. I kind of go by myself to warm up, just to get in the right mental state, and just knowing like I put in a lot of work, and that helps with that like easing of the mind, and just kind of just leaving it all on the mat, whether the outcome. no
Totally.
matter what the outcome is. So.
Yeah, before our matches, we usually listen to music and just kind of get in our zone.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Okay, so kind of getting into like your practices and like cutting weight. I've always been really curious about like how that goes and like how you're able to maintain that and like still, you know, function from day to day, because that seems super difficult. Like I'm sure it takes a toll on, you know, physical, your mental too. So like what do you guys do for, you know, cutting and like practices and stuff like that?
A lot of us typically like we'll go and work outside of our practices. So we'll get whether it's like some cardio or just going into the mat room and getting extra like just drilling and practicing in.
Yeah.
And then I think the biggest thing though with like weight cutting, it's managing weight is your diet. So like it's different for all of us. Like I can't do what she does and vice versa. So just kind of figuring out like what works for you and while being able to have energy for practice too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you have energy for practice because the practices are pretty hard the whole time, and we do a lot of running and cardio, and
Right.
coach kind of keeps us up on that a lot.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like every time I see you guys practicing, you're always like bundled up and like doing stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll layer up a little bit too.
Yeah.
No, for sure. So what does we have as Blue Hawk fans have something, or what do we have to look forward to in the upcoming weekends and stuff like that? Do you guys have any tournaments or?
We have two.
A Jamestown duel,
Okay.
I think next week.
Okay.
The 31st, but that's an away.
Okay.
duel.
Yeah.
And then we have conference and nationals in February and
wow.
March already. So
Okay, that's coming up.
yeah, our schedule's been pretty light this year, just because it's the first year program and all that. But I think next year we'll have more home duels and like more competitions that we're doing. So
Yeah.
Very good.
What's up, everybody? My name is Xander Beeson. Welcome back to the first episode of Hawk Talk for 2024. Today I'm joined by two of our student athletes. We'll let you guys introduce yourselves.
I'm Christopher Kistler. I am a exercise science major, sports management track. I'm from Warden, Montana. I'm in my 4th year of school, and I pole vault in track.
Hi, my name is Kori Nagel, and I am a biology major. I am from Center, North Dakota. I am in my 3rd year of school here at DSU, and I throw on the DSU Track and Field team, so I do shot put, discus, hammer throw, and weight throw.
Very nice. Obviously, you guys took two pretty different paths to DSU, so I just want to ask you guys what brought you here to this wonderful establishment?
My brother was already here in DSU, so that was a lot of a pushing factor, and I was able to do 2 sports here, so it's nice to be able to have this small community here, and that was a big reason I came here.
Yeah, so I was actually up at Minot State my first year, and my coach Tanner Gust got a job down here at DSU instead my 2nd year, and so I just followed him down here because I wanted to keep him as my coach.
Very
So
nice.
that's kind of how I came up here.
All right, before we get into the individual questions, you guys are both obviously track athletes, like you said. I want to ask you guys, which do you prefer, indoor or outdoor season?
I prefer the outdoor season, but I think I prefer vaulting indoors better because the conditions are always the same inside, so you don't have to worry about wind or the weather or anything like that. But outdoor season is I think it's a lot more fun. I have a lot more fun
You're not
doing
worried
it.
about like a strong AC gust inside?
Yeah, no.
Someone turns the fan up a little too high?
I think we should put a fan behind us. It would help us vaulting a lot, carry more speed then.
Yeah, that might make sense, yeah.
Yeah, that's really hard because I feel like I like little parts of each season. I would say I like indoor shot put better, but I like outdoor just because there's hammer throw and there's discus. Yeah, no, it's really hard to choose which one just because of that. But yeah.
That makes sense. Chris, obviously, I don't know if our viewers know, but you're coming off an injury that you sustained in football season last year. You didn't pole vault last year, but you did play football this year. I just want to ask you how excited you are to be back to vaulting.
I don't even think I can even begin to explain how excited I am. Like, not vaulting for 2 years and seeing all my friends and all my teammates compete, it gets kind of frustrating not being able to vault and, compete with your friends. So being back, it's going to be so exciting. We'll find out Saturday.
Yeah.
So
Love to hear that. Kori had a very successful first year at DSU, qualified for nationals. You were an All-American. What are some of the goals you have for this upcoming year?
Yeah, so I actually have my last meet this upcoming weekend since I'm redshirting this year.
Okay.
So this year will kind of just be a building year for me just because I have some pretty big goals for the following season. So I guess like the goals for my training would be to just get more athletic and more strong and all that type of stuff just to make me a better thrower.
Okay. Chris, like I said, you also play football. How do you balance being a multi-sport athlete here at DSU?
I really don't think it's as hard as what people, make it out to be. I have football season and I have track season. The only time it really gets kind of hard balancing that is during spring ball when football is in the spring, so in March there, April sometimes.
Yeah.
So that is still not that hard because I just go from track practice to football practice. Usually they're not at the same time, and if they do overlap, I'll finish with one and then just go right to the other.
Okay.
So it's still not very hard at all.
Okay. Kori, you have more of an off season than Chris does. I feel like as soon as football ends, you're into track season. What does your training look like? What are you trying to do in like the summer or during the fall?
Yeah, a lot of workouts. So I took a week break after nationals this last spring, and then throughout the summer I spent about 5 to 6 days a week throwing, and then I had weights and plyos and all that stuff implemented in there as well. And then that same type of routine kind of continued through the fall when all of us are back on campus and everything. So yeah, that's just kind of what it mainly looks like. And I'll just, since I'm not competing, I'll just continue that cycle through.
So you'll still practice and everything, but you just won't compete?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, that makes sense. Question for both of you. What advice would you give to high school athletes who are looking to compete at the college level, whether it's as a multi-sport athlete or just in track or any sport?
I would say reach out. Of course coaches recruit and all that, but I feel like if you reach out and you get your name out there too, they're more likely to come recruit you and look for you and stuff. So I feel like just reach out, get your name out there, all that.
Yeah, that was good. I would say, it's kind of cliche, but like work hard.
Yeah.
I know hard work will get you places. Hard work will help you out.
It's not cliche, it's true. Hard work gets you everywhere.
Yeah.
But last question, we asked this to all of our Hawk Talk guests. What does DSU mean to you?
I think DSU means family. I am a very outgoing guy, so I have a very good relationship with a lot of the coaches and a lot of the faculty here. I work for Noah, the Dean of Students, as you know, so I meet a lot of people through that too, and I think it's just a very tight-knit, close community, and I love that about DSU.
Yeah, you have a pretty cool cousin that goes here too, is what I've heard.
He's all right.
He's a pretty cool guy. What about you, Kori?
Chris stole mine. I would say family. Yeah, it's a great atmosphere to go to school. The sports, the fans, just everything's great about it. So I would say that's what I would.
We do have some pretty nice fans. Like
For
those
sure.
football games, they get rowdy. I even see a lot of fans at track meets, which is like in high school, we didn't have too many people that would just go out and watch track meets, but the fans here in Dickinson, they eat, sleep, breathe DSU. But thank you guys for coming on. This has been Chris Kistler and Kori Nagel. I will see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Hawk Talk segment, A Minute with Easton, where we give President Easton 60 seconds to answer a question. So in a previous interview, you said that you like to travel. What's the weirdest place you've ever traveled to?
Oh, wow. What's the oddest? My wife and I have taken a couple of trips to Alaska and walked on a glacier.
Wow.
It's funny. We had a little trip to see the Northern Lights, and then that was fun in Norway. But that wasn't weird, but it's kind of odd for a North Dakotan to go even further north. And we got back home and saw an even better version of the Northern Lights. By the way, quick recruiting point for Dickinson State. You ever want to see a really good display of Northern Lights within the continental U.S.? We got you covered. Could drive over to the Theodore Roosevelt National Park and see them. There must be some other ones, but I can't think of really strange ones right now.
No, that's perfect. That's time, too. Thank you so much for your time.
What's up, everybody? It's me again, back for this week's weekly recap. For men's basketball, they went 2-0 on the weekend, winning an overtime game against Valley City with a score of 80-74. Love that. If you saw everything, we hate Valley. And then they also took down Mayville with a score of 79-63. So congrats to them on the huge weekend. They are now on the road to play against Waldorf and Viterbo. Women's basketball also played against Valley City and Mayville, but unfortunately will not be able to pull off any wins. They went 0-2 on the weekend, but we know they'll bounce back as they're also on the bus heading to Waldorf and Viterbo. Indoor track and field just completed their first meet of the year over in Bismarck. The men's team took 5th out of 9 teams, and the women ranked 3rd out of 8. Huge shout out to fierce competitor Kori Nagel, who we just had on the show for her winning the NAIA National Field Athlete of the Week. Both the teams will be heading to Brookings, South Dakota this weekend to compete in the NAIA D2 preview. For wrestling, men's wrestling, last weekend the men's were in Marshall, Missouri for the Missouri Valley College Invitational. They finished 23rd out of 45 teams. And this weekend they will be in the Tyler Plummer Classic, which was set to begin at 9 a.m. And they'll also be back home against Jamestown on Tuesday, January 30th. Women's wrestling, they'll be heading down to Jamestown on the 31st to compete against Jamestown. Best of luck to them. Thank you guys for watching. As always, Hawks are up.